Hey guys, this is Dr. Sadie. I hope you're having an amazing day. Today's topic is going to be awesome. We're talking about the morning ritual for 2024. If you're watching for the first time, my name is Dr. Sadie. I am a practicing doctor of chiropractic. It's been over 20 years, personally done over 300,000 adjustments. I'm still learning, still growing. We want to serve our patients at the highest level. If you're new to this channel, I make these videos to give you health tips on natural living so you can have the best life possible. And I really think today's going to be an exciting topic because we're going to talk about designing a morning ritual for 2024. Couple of things I'm also going to mention. We have been nominated again for the top chiropractor in Mississauga. So if you love the work we're doing, if you can support us, I'm going to include a link below to vote. If you've already voted, thank you so much. If you haven't, if you could do that, the deadline's coming up like this Thursday, but your support is always welcome. So thank you so much. And let's get into it. So why the morning ritual? So I think as we approach January 1st, 2024, I think for most of the population, we're kind of like, what do we want to do different? Some people are excited. Some people might be like, what's the point? It's not going to work. And I want to inspire you. I want you to believe in yourself. What I love about the chiropractic message and the way I see life is that we should always try to improve. We should always try to get better, no matter where we're at. I think there's always room to learn, to grow, and that is my hope for you. That's what we want to do. So why the morning ritual? So what I personally believe is the morning determines how the day goes, which determines how the week goes, which determines how the month goes, which determines how the years go, which determines a lifetime. I really believe the older I get, I love learning, whether it's through video, whether it's through reading, or all this information I keep getting. The mornings have a huge impact on the rest of your day. If you look at people that we look up to who are successful, a lot of them will have very specific morning rituals. And what I've also realized and I want to share with you is I think we have to customize. It might be exciting to learn about a person who gets up 4 a.m. and does, 2 hours of working out and goes on like a certain diet and does this. And you might be like, okay, that's inspiring. And we're like, wow, getting up at 4 a.m. might be tough. What I want to do is kind of show you some fundamentals. And what you should do with this video is customize for you. See what works with your life. Maybe you're single and you have time. Maybe you have like 5 kids. You're like, I have barely 5 minutes. But I think if we can all have a morning ritual, a way to start the day that's customized for our needs, where we are in life, what season we're in, I really think it's very powerful. And it can the whole day just flows completely different. And I want your life to be better. That's why I'm making this video. So the morning ritual is critical, but I'm going to teach you some fundamentals and I want you to customize for yourself. Another thing I'm going to suggest as well before we get into specifics, so we might get started and tell ourselves that, okay, I'm going to make these changes on January 1st. I'm going to just go through the whole year and it's going to be great and there's going to be no challenges. Maybe more than likely you'll probably have some challenges. You might even run out of that steam to keep that discipline or whatever. So here's another suggestion I have for you, and you may want to follow this or modify that date, but maybe tell yourself that you're going to work on this morning ritual for the next 90 days. And by the way, I'm making this video before New Year's, and what I would really encourage is start that morning ritual before January 1st. So by January 1st, you're already kind of in a flow. And also, if you're listening to this, maybe you have a great morning ritual. I hope I give you some ideas to make it better, inspire you, how you can even go next level. I think just have that attitude. If I can share anything with you, just have an attitude of how do we do things better? How can I make my life better? What can I do better? I think if we get to a point like, yeah, I got this, I don't need to learn anything. Wow, you got to be kidding me. The people I really respect and admire, they have a growth mindset. And a growth mindset says no matter where I'm at, where can I improve? What can I do better? And I love hearing that thinking. I love hanging out with people who think like that. Personally, if I meet someone and they're kind of like, I know all this, been there, done that, I've mastered it, I find that a turnoff. I can't resonate with that person, but I respect a person who may have an incredible level of mastery and says, you know what, still getting better, still can improve things. I love that. I think that's being a human being at the highest level. We should always look to improve ourselves. So I said 90 days, you may do 30 days. You might say 90 days is too much. You might say 90 days is too small, may do 100 days, but don't make it for the full year. Evaluate after a certain amount of time how you're doing, and be also graceful to yourself. Maybe you're doing everything, but you didn't exercise as much, but you're eating better. or maybe you're doing the exercise portion, but the eating could, it's not as good. So just give yourself grace. But I really think this is an exciting exercise. So the whole goal of this video is making you the best version of yourself. Chiropractic message is exactly that. How do we have someone come in, not compare them to anyone else, and make them the best version of themselves? Someone who comes in at 22, who goes to the gym 5 days a week, they're gonna have very different goals than someone who comes in at 82 and maybe is recovering from a surgery. Maybe their shoulders aren't good. Maybe they've just had poor health for a long time. Their goals are going to be different, but the mission of chiropractic and what I believe is every single human being, we should look at them and say, okay, for you, where you're at with your background, with your lifestyle, how do we maximize that? I think that's the smart way to do. So another thing I would encourage you to do is get inspired by others. Actually, this is so good. I would ask you to write this down. Get inspired by others, but don't compare yourself to others. You should look at someone and say, wow, I'd like to achieve that. What do they do? Things like that. And you're going to get inspired. But comparison is almost like, oh my God, they're better than me. I'm below them. I don't want any of that. You're going to look at someone and say, okay, I like kind of what they're doing. I'm going to take, X, Y, and Z from this person. And how can I make myself better? I am inspired. Inspiration to me is a pull. Comparison is like a push. It's like pushing me away. So it should be all about you comparing yourself. So what that means is you should be saying, okay, in 2024, I got to make sure I'm better than 2023 or the other years before. How am I getting better with the situation I'm in? So first things first, with the morning ritual, what is the best time for you to rise? So what I'm sharing with this video is I would like you to get up. We're going to go over certain things, but what works for you. Now, some people might get up at you hear stories of, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever, 6 a.m. It's all over the map. What works for you? And actually choosing a good time to rise is actually, if we go back, we have to look at our bedtime. What time do you want to go to bed now? And I got to tell you, if you start this stuff during the holidays, it's going to be relaxed. You might be having more parties and social events and things like that. So it's going to be challenging, but still have some momentum, even if there's a few days over the holidays where you're keeping that momentum. So again, I don't want on January 1st, we're kind of like starting and saying, oh yeah, let's make this a different year, because I think lack of planning and then waiting till January 1st, it's already too late. And then you're kind of like, what's the point? You kind of rush. You didn't even give it time that it needed. It's probably not going to work out. You'll try for 2 days and go, okay, I'm going to wait till 2025. I don't want that. I don't want that. I want us to make 2024 one of the best years we've ever had. So let's look at a time that works for you realistically. Again, if you're night shift, you might have different parameters, whatever works for you. But what is the ideal time that you should be rising for you based on your life, where you're at? What is the best time to rise? If everything was going the way you really wanted to, if you got enough rest, what time should you rise? So first step, we're going to look into that. And then what's going to help you is what can I recommend or inspire you to do when you do rise? So depending on your background, and we want to customize, that is the word I'm going to keep using, you may want to start your day with prayers. Some people literally do pray. Maybe they read their holy book. Maybe they read something inspirational. Maybe they're listening to a certain music, spiritual music, whatever works for them. Reading, praying, meditating, deep breathing. Okay, you know what, Dr. Sandy, I'm not sure, if that's my thing. Okay, so can we practice just being grateful? See what works for you. Write down 3 things. You don't even write it down. Just think about it. What am I grateful for? Again, if you'd like to pray, if you want to meditate, customize for you. How long should that last? It depends what works for you. Do you want to do half an hour? Do you want to do 15 minutes? Do you want to do 5 minutes? See what works for you and customize. But I think it's a beautiful way to get centered before you start your day. So I'd highly recommend that. Okay, whatever works for you. I think also maybe having some goals that you're looking at and saying, okay, maybe what are some big picture goals? What are my goals today? What are the top 2-3 things that if I get done, I'd be happy about? Something along that nature. You will know, and here's what I want to encourage you guys to do. I'm giving you ideas, but go with your intuition, go with your gut feeling and customize. And if you're already doing this, maybe you're already like, oh yeah, I do meditation. Okay, that's great. How can you make it better? Oh, Dr. Sandy, I'm already doing prayer. Great. How do you make it better? How do you change it up to go to the next level? Okay. Next thing is there is no doubt about it. I would highly encourage this, but some kind of workout. For some of you, you might say, okay, you know, ideally, if I could get up in the morning and do 20 minutes of yoga, fantastic. Someone might be watching this and say, I need 1 hour to work out, Dr. Sandy, and it's going to be weights. Fantastic, do that. You might just say, you know what, I just need to go for that morning jog for 45 minutes, whatever that is. Maybe it's 15 minutes. Maybe it's walking the dog in the morning. Look at your life and say, okay, ideally, what would bring me the most joy? What makes me feel refreshed? Don't get caught in like, you know, X, Y, and Z. I will say as a chiropractor, stretching is obviously critical. You need some cardio. Weight training is very beneficial, but see what works for you. Are you going to work out in your home? Like I work out in my basement. Are you going to work out at a gym? Do you want to join a class? Is it going to be maybe some morning stretches, but 3 times a week you're going to a class where you work out with other people? Do you want to get a trainer this year? Maybe you've been thinking for a long time and you're not seeing the changes you wanted. Is this the year you finally commit to getting a trainer? Is there a book you need to read? Is there someone on YouTube you need to follow? Is there a course you're going to take, a seminar, whatever that looks like? Let's make that year to grow, change, invest in ourselves to really make sure we have a good ritual. Okay, and then the big thing I would also suggest is that what is your breakfast going to look like? And man, are you even going to have breakfast? So I know some patients are like, I've talked to them, they're like, you know, the morning thing doesn't work for me. I will tell you my philosophy on food and nutrition. And again, I'm going to share this with you, but see what works for you. I believe that the human body does need to eat food on a regular basis, high quality, small portions, but throughout the day. So I personally think breakfast is a very important meal. That might be a smoothie for you. That might be oatmeals. That might be eating some eggs, whatever that looks like. But having some way to start the day and fuel it, I think is critical in my opinion. I know some people who are doing fasting or intermittent fasting, and they're kind of like, well, I'm not going to eat till 12. If that really resonates with you, if you feel healthy, strong, and vibrant, I mean, that'll be your choice, but I would say something to start the day, even if it's small, I would highly encourage it. But of course, I want to see what works for you. So really with this exercise, what we're going to be doing is sitting back and saying, hey, what's best for me? How am I going to make 2024 amazing? What is my morning, practice going to be to get anchored, to set the day? What are my goals for the day? What am I going to eat? What am I going to wear? What is my workout going to look like? And I really believe if we can make your morning powerful, the day powerful, the week, the month, the year, you'll have an incredible life. Forget about 2024. That'll be awesome. But just moving forward, it'll be a great life. So I really hope this video helped you. I want the best for you in 2024. God bless you.